It was a beautiful Tuesday morning in New York City. The sun glinted off the skyscrapers, the air was crisp with the promise of autumn. People went about their daily routines, unaware of the horror that awaited them. This ordinary day would soon transform into one etched in history, a day forever marked by tragedy and loss. The city that never sleeps was starting to awaken. The streets buzzed with activity. In the bustling financial district, people were already arriving for work at the World Trade Center. Among them were stockbrokers, traders, office workers, ordinary people beginning their day just like any other. None of them could have imagined that this normalcy was about to be shattered, forever changing the course of their lives and the world as we knew it. At 8:14 a.m., American Airlines Flight 11 took off from Boston's Logan International Airport, destined for Los Angeles. On board were 76 passengers, 11 crew members, and 5 hijackers. The terrorists, armed with knives and box cutters, stormed the cockpit just 15 minutes after takeoff. Passengers and crew aboard the doomed flight became the first unwitting participants in a terrifying drama. They would unknowingly set in motion a chain of events that would forever scar the fabric of human history. Fear and confusion gripped the passengers as the hijackers seized control of the plane. Little did they know, they were flying towards a devastating fate. At 8:46 a.m., the unimaginable happened. American Airlines Flight 11, now a guided missile in the hands of terrorists, slammed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. The impact between the 93rd and 99th floors sent shockwaves throughout the city and beyond. The world watched in horror as smoke and debris billowed from the gaping hole in the iconic skyscraper. The collision, a deafening roar followed by an eerie silence, marked the beginning of the nightmare. People on the ground screamed, pointing at the sky. Inside the North Tower, hundreds were instantly killed. Many more were trapped in the higher floors, with fire and smoke rapidly engulfing the building. The world watched in disbelief as the magnitude of the attack began to sink in. As smoke billowed from the North Tower, news crews from around the world rushed to cover the unfolding disaster. The scene was chaotic, with reporters scrambling to capture every moment, every angle of the catastrophe. The air was thick with tension and disbelief as people tried to make sense of what was happening. Then, just 17 minutes after the first impact, at 9:03 a.m., the unthinkable happened again. A second plane was seen approaching the South Tower, and in a horrifying instant, it collided with the building. This time, it was United Airlines Flight 175, also en route to Los Angeles from Boston. The flight had been hijacked shortly after takeoff, and its new deadly course was set. The plane, hijacked by 5 terrorists, crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. The impact was devastating, sending a fireball through the building and causing immediate, catastrophic damage. The impact between the 77th and 85th floors was witnessed live on television by millions around the world. The images were broadcast in real time, bringing the horror directly into homes and workplaces. The South Tower, engulfed in flames, stood as a horrifying testament to the terrorists' deadly intent. Flames and smoke poured from the building, creating a scene of utter devastation. The world watched in stunned silence as a second plane hit its mark, confirming that this was no accident. The realization that this was a coordinated attack sent shockwaves around the globe. This was a deliberate, coordinated attack on American soil. The events of that morning would change the world forever, marking the beginning of a new era defined by the fight against terrorism. Section 5. Terror strikes the Pentagon, the fate of Flight 77. While the world watched the unfolding tragedy in New York City, another act of terror was taking place in Arlington, Virginia. At 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77, en route from Washington Dulles International Airport to Los Angeles, crashed into the west side of the Pentagon. The impact, a devastating blow delivered by 5 hijackers, caused a massive explosion and fire. A section of the Pentagon collapsed, sending shockwaves through the nation's capital. The attack on the Pentagon, the headquarters of the U.S. Department of Defense, was a direct assault on the symbol of American military might. Section 6. Heroes aboard Flight 93, a fight for life and liberty. The fourth and final plane hijacked on September 11th was United Airlines Flight 93, departing from Newark, New Jersey, also bound for Los Angeles. This flight, like the others, was part of a coordinated terrorist attack that aimed to strike at the heart of America. The passengers and crew, unaware of the fate that awaited them, boarded the plane for what they thought would be a routine cross-country flight. At 10:03 a.m., after a delay of over 40 minutes, Flight 93 crashed into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. The crash site, now a solemn memorial, marks the final resting place of the brave souls who fought back against their captors. The delay in takeoff played a crucial role, giving passengers time to learn about the other attacks and decide to take action. The passengers and crew of Flight 93, aware of the attacks on the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, fought back against the four hijackers. They made phone calls to loved ones, sharing their plans and saying their final goodbyes. Their collective decision to storm the cockpit was a desperate and courageous act, driven by the knowledge that their plane was part of a larger, deadly plot. Their heroic actions, fueled by courage and a refusal to surrender, prevented the plane from reaching its intended target, believed to be either the U.S. Capitol building or the White House in Washington, D.C. By sacrificing their own lives, they thwarted a devastating attack on the nation's capital, potentially saving hundreds or even thousands of lives. Their sacrifice saved countless lives and stands as a testament to the unyielding human spirit in the face of unimaginable evil. The Flight 93 National Memorial serves as a place of reflection and remembrance, honoring the bravery and selflessness of those who stood up against terror. It is a powerful reminder of the resilience and courage that define us as a people. Section 7. The Towers Fall, a city in dust and despair. At 9:59 a.m., after burning for 56 minutes, the South Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed. The collapse, a horrifying spectacle of dust and debris, sent shockwaves through lower Manhattan. The world watched in disbelief and horror as one of the world's most iconic structures crumbled into a heap of rubble. Less than 30 minutes later, at 10:28 a.m., the North Tower of the World Trade Center also collapsed. The collapse, a heart-wrenching echo of the South Tower's demise, marked the fall of both towers and the loss of thousands of innocent lives. Section 8. The Aftermath. Picking up the pieces of a nation scarred. The immediate aftermath of the 9/11's attacks was a blur of shock, grief, and disbelief. The world grappled with the enormity of the tragedy. Rescue workers tirelessly searched for survivors in the rubble of the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and the field in Shanksville. That evening, President George W. Bush addressed the nation, declaring a war on terror and vowing to hunt down those responsible for the attacks. Memorials and vigils were held around the world as people mourned the loss of the nearly 3,000 innocent lives taken that day. The 9/11's attacks had a profound impact on the world, leading to increased security measures, the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and a heightened awareness of the threat of terrorism. Section 9. Legacy of 9/11's, Remembering the Fallen, Honoring the Heroes. The legacy of 9/11's continues to shape the world today. The events of that day have left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness, influencing everything from global politics to personal stories of loss and resilience. The images of the World Trade Center collapsing, the Pentagon in flames, and the field in Pennsylvania where Flight 93 went down are etched into our memories forever. The attacks serve as a stark reminder of the human capacity for both unimaginable evil and extraordinary courage. First responders rushed into danger, risking their lives to save others. Ordinary people became heroes, showing incredible bravery and compassion in the face of terror. Their stories continue to inspire us and remind us of the strength of the human spirit. We remember the victims, the heroes, and the families forever changed by the events of that tragic day. Each name inscribed on the memorial is a life lost, a story unfinished, and a reminder of the fragility of life. The pain of their loss is felt deeply, but so too is the pride in their courage and the love they left behind. The spirit of resilience and unity that emerged from the ashes of 9/11 reminds us that even in the face of darkness, hope endures. Communities came together, strangers supported one another, and a nation found strength in its shared grief. This unity is a powerful testament to the enduring human spirit. The 9/11 Memorial and Museum in New York City stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of that day. It is a place where history is preserved, stories are told, and memories are honored. Visitors from around the world come to pay their respects, to learn and to reflect on the impact of 9/11. It serves as a place of remembrance, reflection, and a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable loss, the human spirit can overcome. The reflecting pools, the names etched in bronze, and the eternal flame all symbolize the enduring impact of that day and the resilience of those who survived. We must never forget the lessons learned on that fateful day and continue to honor the memory of those we lost by striving for a more peaceful and just world. By educating future generations, participating in memorial ceremonies, and advocating for peace, we ensure that the legacy of 9/11 is one of hope, unity, and resilience.